Hello and welcome. I'm so excited for you that you passed your mock class. Congratulations, that's no small feat. You should be very proud of yourself. So in this video, I'm going to give you an inside look at the VIPKid Teachers Portal. Now this video is strictly confidential. VIPKid does not like for us to share like an inside look at their portal with just anyone, right? So that's why this video is confidential. It's private on YouTube. So please do not share it anywhere or I can probably never do this again. So I really want to just give you an inside look, have it feel almost like you're just sitting next to me and I'm showing you around in the portal. So confidential, please don't take screenshots, videos, anything like that. You can take notes for sure. So I would suggest that you use this video as like a starting off point, right? So maybe you watch it and then you have your portal pulled up on the side if you're able to access it yet. And then you can pause the video and click around and see what it looks like on yours. So you might even want to do a split screen or have your portal pulled up on a different device so that you can do it in real time and just pause my video as you need to. And of course you can watch this video as many times as you need to while you are in the hiring process, basically. This video is for you. So thank you so much for keeping it confidential and thank you for being my referral. Now I'm going to show you around my portal. Okay, so where are the places that you want to be focusing your attention in this portal? There are so many things to look at and I know it can be overwhelming, especially when you are brand new. So I'm just going to show you how I use the portal. Okay, so this is the home page of the portal, right? I'm logged in. This is on VIPKid's website. It's really important to note that you, if you don't already have it, want to go up here to that little like download button and you want to get the VIPKid Teacher app either for your desktop computer. This is kind of a different thing. You can't teach on your mobile, but it's a good idea just to have it. And then the VIPKid Teacher app on an iPad. So starting this summer, you will not be able to teach from their website anymore. Okay, so it will become mandatory for you to use either an iPad to teach or a desktop computer laptop to teach. Okay, so you definitely want to get one of these downloaded ASAP if you have not done so already. Okay, but for the purpose of keeping things moving quickly, I'm just going to use the website here. Okay, so what can I see when I come into my portal? Okay, so this is kind of like your dashboard, right? When you first come in, you can see your next 3 classes. Even if you have more than 3 booked, only 3 will show up here. If you don't have any upcoming classes, you just won't see anything here, okay? Your to-do list. This missing CF/UA means missing class feedback or unit assessments. Okay, I'm going to draw this out for you real quick. So VIPKid has different learning cycles, okay? So in the regular lessons, in the regular levels, like levels 2 through 7, or however many high we're going to now, you would have 12 different lessons in a given unit. So lessons 1 through 5, 6, 7 through 11, 12. Now, lesson 6 and lesson 12, these are unit assessments. Unit assessments, okay? So they would be a little bit different from a regular class feedback, okay? But it's the same timeline. You still need to get that submitted within 12 hours to get your full pay, okay? But that's why it says on here class feedback or unit assessment. Okay, and you'll know which one you're supposed to do. You can click to so many things straight from this dashboard. It makes it nice and easy for you. But I just really quickly wanted to show you around. I honestly don't go down to the bottom here that often. The library's down here, a little sneak peek. It's really just a quick glimpse of what your portal does. Okay, I suggest that you spend quite a bit of time in the class tab here because that is where you will be opening up your slots. Okay, so I'm going to pull it up here. You'll get a little sneak peek at my schedule, which is a little sparse right now. I'm taking a little break from teaching, but I wanted to at least show you what it looks like. Okay, so first thing you're going to notice, this time zone should reflect your time zone. It should be the one that you set up when you established your VIPKid account. If it's not your time zone, you want to contact VIPKid and get it changed, okay? So that should be your time zone, so we don't have to convert anything from China in our heads. Okay, and you'll notice that the month or the week goes from Monday to Sunday. That's not usually how we do it in the US, but in China and in Europe, they mostly do calendars Monday through Sunday, so it doesn't split up your weekend, right? Okay, so what you'll see down here is it is in the process right now of switching over from my classes that I taught this morning, okay? So I finished all of these classes. This is why I recorded this at this exact time, because I wanted you to see that they are switching over one by one, converting all of these classes to finished. I finished all of these classes hours ago, but they're just now converting over to gray in my calendar. So if you teach a class and it doesn't automatically switch to gray, that's normal. Usually it's about between like midnight and 2 a.m. in China that it converts. So for me, that's like noon to 2 p.m. in Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time. So yeah, it will not automatically convert to finished, and that's okay. It does not necessarily mean that you're missing feedback or something like that, okay? Usually they switch over all at once, so by the time I'm finished with this, all of them should be gray. But anyway, so these are our classes, right? So I taught all of these this morning, and then the green ones on here are ones that I have not yet taught but have been booked. You can see that they're booked because it's green and it says booked, okay? Now if I wanted to, I could access the classroom straight from here. I can go to classroom. I can quickly see my student's name and a little bit of information about the class itself, but not a whole lot, right? And you do not want to click the cancel this class button. That's for really just emergencies only. We never want to just cancel a class, okay? All right, so I could go to the classroom from here, but I want to show you quickly how you can open up some bookings. So I'm actually going to skip ahead quite a bit because I'm actually not teaching in June. So I'm just going to skip ahead, and it's so nice that we have that flexibility, right? We can just teach when we want to and turn off our schedule when we don't. But of course, when we are new, we want to open as many slots as humanly possible to give ourselves the best chance, right? Okay. So I'm going to come to here. Let's just open something in July. Okay, so I always recommend, especially for newer teachers, that you open on holidays because veteran teachers are not usually teaching their regular classes on that day. Anyway, okay, so you'll see on here, real quick note, the ones that say hot and they have orange, those are the absolute most important times for you to open up if you're able to, right? Because these are after school times in China. Of course, in the summertime, most of our kids are not going to school. They might be going to some extracurricular classes, but they're not going to school in the summertime, right? But we typically still see the same popular times. A lot of parents get into a routine and they're still going to work, so they often have their kids do classes in the evening like usual. So anyway, if I wanted to open up a slot, I can't just click it. What do I have to do? I have to go up here on the right to where it says unlock. This is really nice that they have this feature so we don't accidentally open something. Okay, and then I would come down here to a time. Let's say I want to open up a peak time, 7:30 a.m. in my time zone. I click it, and then I also have to click course. Okay, and then it's open. So it's too far out for anybody to book it right now, but somebody could book it within 2 weeks of that class time, okay? So the way that I have it set up right now, people can only book it up to 24 hours before the class time. If I want to give people more, if I want to give parents more of an opportunity to book with me, if I want to extend that to within 24 hours, I click this short notice button. Okay, now that doesn't mean that it has to be booked within 24 hours, it just extends that period a little bit longer. Now, I can take this slot away or I can turn off the short notice at any time. So let's say that I don't really want to have that short notice. I just want to have regular availability. I just switch it back. Let's say that I don't have a class booked yet and I want to close a slot. No problem. I just go to close and then it's gone off my schedule. And I would definitely want to go up and lock it again so that I don't accidentally open it back up again. Right? So that's kind of how you open up a slot. Something that I suggest for new teachers who are scared of maybe getting back-to-back classes is, okay, I'm going to show you with a visual. This is what I see people do sometimes, and it's really not a good idea. Okay, so this is a bad example. I see people come in and they do this. They go, oh, well, I don't want to be booked back to back, so I'm just going to open up my schedule like this. And they open up just on the hour, right? Oh my goodness, if you open up just on the hour, you are missing half of your potential students, right? So let's say that a parent only wants a class at 6:30. If you're only available at 6 or 7, they're not going to see you. So that's why I suggest opening as many as you possibly can. And then let's say that you had all of these open, okay? Let's suppose that you had them all open. Maybe you even had them marked as short notice. Give yourself more chance. Let's say this short notice class gets booked, okay? Pretend that this one changed to green. It's booked. Oh, this one is not booked yet. I'm just going to close this one because I don't want any classes back to back. And then I'll close this one too, right? You can do that. There's no harm in closing out a class, okay? Of course, if it's already booked, you don't want to cancel it, but you can close out any unbooked slots with no penalty whatsoever. Okay, so that's how you would open up slots and mark them all as short notice from the beginning. That's my recommendation to you. You can always turn off the short notice function. Okay, so some people, before they go to bed, they will uncheck the short notice option just so they don't wake up to any surprises. But the longer you leave the short notice option on, the more likely it will get booked. Okay, so this is our bookings tab, right? Now, if I wanted to actually look at the materials that I'm preparing, I go to classrooms. So this is still under the class tab, but I just go to classrooms. Okay, so first I see my upcoming classes, and I actually only have 4 classes in the next 7 days because I'm taking some time off, okay? But anyway, I would see more if there were more. So if you have a bunch of classes, it will probably look pretty full. If you go to missing class feedback or unit assessment, right? So class feedback would be lessons 1 through 5, 6, and 7 through 11. Unit assessments are in lesson 6 and lesson 12. So I can see these are the ones that I have not written yet. I have not written class feedback for these 3 classes yet. I just wrote 1 class feedback this morning, so you could see that I'm missing, or I have 1 more left to do. Sorry. I already did 1, I have 3 more left to do. If you remember, I had 4 classes. I no longer see the one that I already did. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm totally done with it. Boop, boop. Okay, so this is where I see my missing class feedback and unit assessment. But let's say that I want to prepare for a class. Okay, so I go to upcoming classes. Here I can get a really quick preview of my student in my class, right? If I click on my student's name, I can see a bit more about my student. I can already see that Sophia is a girl, but what else can I see? I can see her birth date, I can see her placement test, I can see, well, if she had one, right? I can see that she's taken a lot of VIPKid classes, several of them with me recently, and then I can see how she's been rated in her most recent class, and then I can see any kinds of notes from other teachers. These are notes that I wrote in here. These are notes from other teachers, okay? So that's kind of what you see if you just click on your student's name, okay? Now, if I wanted to, I could actually go into the classroom, but I don't suggest that you do that because just like how you can go into the classroom early, so can your student, and it would be really awkward if you were in there practicing and your student showed up early too, okay? And anytime that you are in a VIPKid classroom, it could be recorded for safety reasons, so just keep that in mind. Okay, if I want to see these materials, I go to Materials. And this is really nifty, and it's gotten so much better over time. You guys don't know how easy you have it. Okay, so my computer is thinking for a second. But basically, my slides are going to load right here. The most important information from the lesson is right here on the right with the lesson objectives, right, and the sentence patterns. I can expand what the important stuff is here. So this is like at a glimpse what the class is about, right? These are the overarching objectives. If you've not yet attended our Getting Hired session, we currently cover how to teach the slides, right? So how to quickly understand what you're doing on a slide. So if you've not yet attended that session, even though you're already at the end of the hiring process, you're still welcome to join us for that. We haven't maxed out our attendance in any of those sessions, so feel free to join us for a Getting Hired session. We kind of talk about how to figure out what you're teaching. But anyway, so if I'm looking, right, I see my classroom slides are here. not classroom slides, my slides that I'm teaching, right? And I can go between the slides, I can practice drawing in the slides in any way. I can't do it with this device on that records my screen. But anyway, you can play around with it in here, okay? Sometimes you will see favorite classes. So these are just classes that a computer generates, right? People who got 5 apples at least 5 times in a class and gave permission to share these videos, yada yada. You don't have to watch this, but if you want to see how another teacher taught a certain slide, you can check it out. There are all different kinds of notes down here as well. So these are just from other teachers, right? You don't have to leave any of this stuff in here. You don't have to write anything unless you want to. You don't even have to look down here unless you want to. But teachers like to share ideas down here. So that's what you'll see, okay? So this is basically when I'm preparing for a class. I come here, I check it out. I do have a video on my YouTube channel, which I will link below, that is all about how to prep for classes. So that video and our Getting Hired session should really help you feel totally prepared for any lesson that gets thrown your way. Okay, so this was our portal. This was our checking out the materials, right? Okay, so that opened up in a new tab, which is really, really nifty. So again, that was under class and then classrooms. Okay, and then you go to whichever class you want to prepare for and you click materials. Now you'll notice I have a little panda here. Okay, that is because I use a program called Feedback Panda, which significantly cuts down the amount of time that I spend writing feedback to my parents. So I have a link for Feedback Panda down below as well. I really highly recommend that you give it they have a free trial. Try it out and see if you like it. It's really, really worth the very small investment. I think it's $10 a month if you use someone's link. I have my link below. Feel free to use anyone's link. But yeah, Feedback Panda is amazing. So that just like opens up and generates your feedback. It's great. Okay. So again, I can see my missing class feedback. So I definitely want to get these done within 12 hours, and I will. All right, and then I don't usually use the all classes, but some teachers like to use that as well. Okay, so again, my bookings. I will know when I've got a booking because I see it on my bookings tab. Okay, so people always ask me, how do I know if I got booked? You need to be checking this. We are independent contractors. Nobody is going to notify you if you get a booking. You might get an app notification on your phone, but that's not a guarantee. Okay, so you need to be checking this. Anytime that you could potentially get booked, you want to be checking back in here, okay? So, as you can see, they are still converting over to finished because it's midday. Okay, so that's my bookings tab. So open up as many slots as you possibly can to give yourself the best possible chance. Okay, some other places you want to know. Under the resources tab, the library, oh my goodness, you could spend weeks just watching videos in here. There are so many videos, okay? But anyway, so down here are the videos. But my favorite place to go on here is the workshop schedule. So you'll click on the workshop schedule. There are workshops for any topic you could possibly imagine. A really good one for new teachers is the UAs, right? Again, unit assessments and final projects. So that's a really good one so that you know how to teach those longer lessons where you'll be evaluating your student. They're longer in slide length. They're not longer. They're still 25 minutes, okay? So that's a really important one. There's also a new teacher kickoff workshop that's really helpful for people as well. So you definitely want to check out that workshop schedule, okay? And then certification is a really important place. I wish it had its own tab up here because that's how important it is. So when you go to the certification tab, that's where you check to see if you can certify for anything new. So one of the best ways to open yourself up to more potential bookings is to get more certifications, okay? So this is where you check to see what you currently have and what you can be working toward. So probably as a new teacher, like these are all, the Builders program, these are all things you work up to after you're a couple contracts in, kind of leadership positions. The most important place for you to check is major course. Okay, so this is where you would get any of these regular certification levels, right? And typically what it means is possibly doing some type of quiz and then sending in a 10-minute demo lesson. Now, what they ask for can change at any time, and sometimes certain levels will not be open if there are already enough teachers in that level. Okay, it's all about supply and demand. If there are more students who need a certain level, they may open it up to more teachers. But definitely get as many of these as you can. Now, of course, if you really, really don't want to get more advanced students, maybe you don't want to do the level 5, level 6, or if you really don't like young children, you probably don't want to do level 1. But if you're open to some variety, get as many as you possibly can. It will only help you, okay? And then definitely get the Trial 3.0. This one is just now open, so if you see this one, get the Trial 3.0 Plus. Like I said, I'm not teaching for a few weeks, so that's why I'm not getting it yet. But definitely get as many certifications as you can, okay? Trial classes are amazing. My top recommendations are getting the trial class certification and getting levels 2 and 3, so interactive level 2 and level 3. Perhaps you just pass that mock class, in which case, go for the 4 or 5. Okay, or go for level 1. Go for something. Give yourself a good chance. Okay, and then there are other options, other classes in here as well, kind of funky ones, like if you want to, like these are special courses that parents will sometimes sign their kids up for. They're not as popular as the regular classes, but definitely look into them and see if that's something that would interest you. Okay. So that is under certification. You will not get a notification if you can go for a new certification. It's your job to be checking these things. So if you take nothing else out of this video, just remember that it is on you. It is your job as an independent contractor to be on top of things, right? It's your job to be attending workshops. Now, you're not required to, but it really helps you to do a better job as a VIPKid teacher, which brings your students back, right? It's your job to be checking your portal to see if you have any bookings. It's your job to make sure you have enough bookings in there that you could potentially get booked, right? All of these things, and it's your job to be checking the certification center to see if you can get any new certifications and then going for them. Okay, the next 2 tabs, the activities and community, those are fun. You can just kind of play around with those on your own, okay? The next one is My Info. Now this one is kind of important, okay? So I'm not going to show you my payment tab or my stats, contribution. Those are all kind of personal things. But let's check out this account center real fast. So the account info. Okay. So this is really, really important, this section, especially when you are a new teacher and you might want to be swapping out your photo or your bio description or something like that. If you're not getting bookings, it very well could be your bio, like your pictures or your video, or something's just not clicking with the parents, okay? So if it's not working, switch it out. If it's not working, switch it out. Always be changing to try to see what makes the difference. Okay, so you can see here I have my main profile picture. You can also see it up here. Okay, my main profile picture, it's super easy to swap it out. I would just click upload and then choose a new picture. All of this stuff needs to be approved by VIPKid, but like it says here, unapproved sections will remain the same. So it's not like if I choose to upload a new picture, I won't have a picture, right? The current picture will stay there until they approve a new one. So it's not like your profile is going to be blank. You can always be updating your stuff, okay? I have my featured pictures in here. I really suggest trying to pick pictures that are really interesting. Like this one, I'm traveling, right? And there you see like this coastline in Spain in the background. This is a picture of me with my niece. You know, try to make them interesting and make them not look the same exact way as your main picture as well. Okay, and then this is my intro video. So keep it probably 15 to 25 seconds long. Be sure that in the very beginning you are talking. Parents, the most important thing that parents want to experience when they click on your video is you talking. They want to hear that you have clear speech, right? So if you have like music or something in the beginning, they may not even stay for your talking, right? They'll just click to the next teacher. So they want to hear you talking. Okay, you'll notice that my About Me section is actually in Chinese. So this was something that I tested out and it worked well. So I actually wrote my bio description and then I copied it and pasted it in a new tab, I copied and pasted it into Google Translate to Chinese and then back to English, and then I adjusted and I went back and forth until it sounded really good, and then I put it in Chinese in my profile. You don't have to put it in Chinese in your profile. Parents will get a translation either way, but it worked for me. So if you're not getting the bookings you like, you might want to give it a try. Okay, but you can always edit it right there. All right, and then what else is important on here? Receipt information, that's your bank information. Make sure that your bank information is in there so that you get paid, okay? And then like all that not so fun stuff that you need to be filling out is in here as well. Just give it a quick look once you're able to access this and make sure it all looks okay. This right here, contract and agreement, this is really, really important because you agreed to all of these things when you signed your contract, or you're about to agree to all of these things. So even though we do our absolute best to provide accurate, up-to-date information, at the end of the day, you are an independent contractor, so every decision that you make falls on you, and it all has to align with what's in here. So you need to be sure that you are upholding your contract, right? It's not hard to uphold your contract. You basically just don't do anything crazy and you'll get re-upped with your contract. Usually people only don't get their contract renewed when they like miss a ton of classes with no explanation, or they were to have like some really crazy behavioral issue, like the teacher did something really crazy in a class. Besides that, it doesn't really matter how much you teach as long as you show up for the classes that you do have, okay? And yeah, so these are all like, technical things that you want to read and be familiar with. Okay. And then another place that you want to go, and I'm going to give you homework here, is this support tab. Okay, so when you are in VIPKid's hiring process, you are supposed to be using the email address teachvip@vipkid.com.cn. You've probably seen a ton of emails from them, right? But once you are a hired teacher and you have access to the support tab, you no longer use that email address. Okay, that's only for people like in the hiring process. Now this is how you communicate with the company. Okay, so you can search for any kind of information. Okay, this is even more so a handbook than the My Info tab. The support tab is even more robust. So you can search for any kind of policy on bookings, cancellations, IT stuff, and then you can also contact support. So this is what I want you to do for homework. I want you to click Contact Support, and you can pause and do this with me if you want. You're going to click Contact Support, and from there you choose a category, right? So we're defining which category so that they send it to the correct team. It's much faster usually to get answers if you choose the correct category. Now I don't know if it's going to let me choose. There we go. Okay. So you can see all these different categories. Oh my goodness. Okay. So basically what I'm going to ask you to do for your homework is to ask what your teacher tags are. Okay, so teacher tags are like hashtags on Instagram or something, right? So parents can search by teacher tags, and then if you have that tag, you would be one of the teachers that is featured on there. So for example, one of my tags is ESL beginner techniques. So that was something that in my hiring process, the people who were evaluating me saw that I had those skills, and so they gave me that tag, ESL beginner techniques. Now a parent can search ESL beginner techniques, and my profile is one that pops up. You should have 5 tags. You should have 5 teacher tags, but for whatever reason, a lot of times teachers don't have 5. They have 2 or 3 or 4, right? So you want to be sure that you have 5 of them. That's one of the biggest things that makes a difference, and for some reason a lot of people are not aware about teacher tags. So anyway, what I would suggest you do is come to teacher profile, okay, and then the category, account information. You could choose either of these, right? I would probably say account information here, and then I say teacher tags, okay, and then I would just say like hello. Hello, will you, oops, if I could type that would be great. Will you please tell me we'll just say my teacher tags? Okay, thanks, and then sign it, right? And then all you would need to do from there is click submit. Now I'm not going to hit submit because I don't actually need to ask that question, but this is basically how you ask any questions through the support tab, okay? And then once they answer your question, it will pop up in My Tickets. So you should also get an email confirmation that you sent a ticket, but just check in here like within a day or so and you might have a reply. Usually they get back to you within a day or two, okay? So you just would go to My Tickets and see their answer. If they say, here are your tags, and you only have 2 or 3 or 4, say, okay, may I please have the list? I would like to add more tags, okay? You want to definitely have 5. So that's your homework, is to contact the support people and ask about your teacher tags, okay? So this was your portal in a nutshell. I hope that this really helps you to figure out where you're going. Again, the most important places for you are probably the class tab, because you can see your schedule, the bookings, you can preview the materials for your class under classrooms. Then the resources library is where you sign up for workshops and view videos. Certification, that's how you get new certifications through that area. Fun stuff. My info is where you would swap out your pictures and video and things like that. And then the support tab, that's how you contact the company. Okay. So I hope this has been really helpful to you. Thank you so much for being my referral. It really means the world to me. And I really hope to see you in our Getting Booked session. So we will go into, we'll have a lot of Q&A so you can ask questions, but we'll kind of tell you how to get a good start with VIPKid. So I hope this tour has been helpful to you. Thank you so much. And of course, I will be seeing you in the hired support community. The hired community, oh, it's the best. All right, thank you. Bye.